What's up, guys? Back with me is here with Sabrina Change, which Season 4, Episode 4, Little Orphan Hilda. Okay, so this episode starts off with Hilda saying, "Oh yeah, these people, this like monkey is stealing, is track the attractions at her, like, stealing the place at doing some stuff at like her work." And Zelda's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. We got Sam the cat." So yeah. So after, back at the Spellman house. Meanwhile, at the Spellman house. Sorry, I after the intro. Meanwhile, at the Spellman house, Sabrina, like she gets a toaster, like a toaster call from Zelda and Hilda's mom, who's like, "Hey," they're like, "Hey, we should find Zelda and Hilda's mom." They call her grandma, but and they're like, but she comes over anyway. So yeah, they're like, so yeah, so they're like, so yeah, so they're like, hey, so they show a picture of Hilda and Zelda as kids on a farm, and yeah, on a farm, and basically, so yeah, basically that. So, so Hilda and Zelda, like they run out because they don't want to, and they're like. And then like their mom would be crushed if like if Hilda if Hilda like found out if Hilda and Zoe's mom found out that Hilda didn't take violin lessons and opened up a clock shop. So Sabrina, not knowing that she would be crushed, tells her she's like, hey, she's like, I know where they be. They're at the clock shop. Wait, you're saying a clock shop? Oh wait, Hilda didn't tell you? She quit the violin and opened up a clock shop. And yeah, Sabrina, you shouldn't have told her that. That just makes her like disappear, and Sabrina's like, where'd you go? Where'd you go? And she can't find her. So she's like, um so yeah, so that's when she appears, and she's like, you better go out and talk to her. And she's like, and they get into a fight, and she's like, this doesn't sound like they're saying they're sorry. And she's like, come on guys, say they're sorry. And yeah, they get into a fight. And later, Sabrina tries to find, and she's like, I'm gonna say OMG. She said OMG, and takes it, and she's like, Hilda, is this true? This page says that Hilda's adopted. And Hilda's like, wait, what? It says, OMG, Hilda's adopted. So Hilda just, loses, doesn't even know who she is anymore, and loses, like, all faith, and she's like, and yeah. And I was like, Hilda's adopted. I was not expecting that. So, so, yeah, Sabrina's like, hey. So she also finds a page saying Zelda's adopted too, and yeah, Sabrina's finding two pages. I mean, and she's like, oh yeah, Zelda's a scientist. She can figure this out. She'll be normal. And basically, Zelda's the same way after she finds out. She can't even see herself in the mirror. So basically, so yeah. So Sabrina, so yeah, so Sabrina, like, like takes she takes those dresses that Hill and Zelda hate, and gives it to him, and basically they just throw it up in the air, and and those dresses explode. Those yellow dresses that Hill and Zelda hate explode. I was like, wait, what? They throw them in the air, and they explode off screen. Like, I was confused. So like, how did they explode? Like they throw them up in the air. They don't even use their magic. They throw them up in the air, and all you can hear is a kaboom, and they're destroyed. Like how? Like how did that happen? Like that shouldn't have happened. They should have been like like burnt, but not exploded. Like, and they never even mention them after this. Like, they don't mention what happened to those dresses, so we can like expect that those dresses are like burnt to a crisp. Like, yeah. So basically, the whole story is that Hilda and Zelda aren't aren't actually adopted. They are, but let's bring up Vesta again because Vesta from season 1, episode 9. Remember her? She's been referenced so many times. So yeah, basically, Vesta didn't like how Hilda and Zelda. She turned her parents into pigs. Vesta turned Hilda's mom, Zelda's mom and father into pigs, and basically they adopted Hilda and Zelda out, and then when they returned back to normal, they adopted them in, like, so they were never adopted. They were just adopted out of their family, and when that turned them back, they were adopted in back. So they weren't actually adopted to begin with. Basically, they were just adopted out of their family, and when their parents returned back normal, they were adopted in. Does that make any sense to you guys? Tell me in the comments. Does that make any sense? Like I know. The Fosters, the show that I watch, it said that DNA does not make a family. Love does. And basically this shows that even though Sabrina's, you don't need DNA to prove how much you love your family. So, yeah, but I'm just confused with this ending. Like I get it. Like, they need to, that's to turn them into pigs, so they had to adopt them out of the family, but they adopt them back in. So were they ever adopted to begin with? They never even say that. They just say, "Oh yeah, we adopt you out of the family." And then when Vesta turns back, we adopt you in back. So were they ever adopted to begin with? That is confusing. That is confusing. Actually, more confusing is how that they turn back normal. They're about to be disappeared, but they turn back normal by destroying the dresses, and that just boom explodes it. And yeah, so the episode ends with them being mean to Sabrina. Because Sabrina's like, hey, let's talk about the family time, but they're talk about the time on the farm. But they're like, yeah, butt out of this, like, don't butt in. And it's like, she just want to talk about your time on the family farm. Like, okay, so this episode was really interesting. It was confusing by the logic, by the blowing up of the dresses, like they just throw them off in the air and they explode off screen. Like, that made no sense. I'm still confused about the whole adoption process, how they adopted out of the family, but adopt back in. That confused me. And for them to tell Sabrina to butt out of the conversation was like, wow. She just want to talk about your guys' time on the family farm, and you tell her to get out of the conversation. Butt out of it. Okay, so like, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you next Sabrina the Teenage Witch.